All right, we're back. Day 3, just as stoked as day 1. The waves are still firing. My body's definitely still sore, but we're so stoked to be out here and still getting fun waves. Today, a lot of focus on laybacks. From day 1, I kind of came away thinking I really want to get that back foot extended out all the way. And so that was a lot of my focus, was to push hard enough that I could extend the back leg. And you'll see there's a lot of sections in this video where I'm just forcing it. And part of what I came away from this session realizing is that you just can't force it. Sometimes you have to listen to the wave. No matter how bad you want to work on something, you just got to wait. That being said, I do think I'm getting closer. There's a few waves where I really did get to extend my back foot all the way and flare it out. It's not just the goal to flare it out, but to make it functional. And so there's a few times I'm able to do that. But another thing is you need a lot of speed to do them. And I didn't always have a lot of speed going into the sections. This crazy flip that I'm working on, I didn't really go for it much, except for the 2 times that you just saw. I do think it's going to happen this trip, though. I'm pretty confident. I also worked on my rail just down carves a lot this session and trying to improve what I was doing on day 1 by just holding the rail all the way through. And I'm super stoked because I was able to a few times. I still think there's progress that needs to be made on how low I get to the water and stuff, but it's looking better to me, I think. This is just an example of me not forcing it. That was a really good section for a blowtail, and you can't just always go for a layback even if you really want to. It's important to surf the wave the way it's meant to be surfed. And it's funny how on these surf trips you can make a session look a lot worse by forcing moves that don't belong. And so when you just surf a wave intuitively, how you think it's supposed to be surfed, sometimes the session kind of comes back into your control and starts to feel a lot better. That being said, you'll see there's a few clips coming up where it gets stuck on my mind that I need to do laybacks, and so I just keep trying them over and over again. There's an example of that kind of longer held rail. I'm excited to keep working on that, but I know I'm moving in the right direction, so already seeing progress there. Super stoked about that. And then here's another one, that back corner of the board, that's what I'm really trying to keep engaged, moving from weight on the back foot to weight on the front foot, but just staying on rail. It feels so good when it all comes together. And then I think this is where you'll start to see me go for layback snaps. And there's so many different versions of a layback. There's a clayback where you're off the board, away from the board. There's layback jams where you kind of jam it in the pocket and stop your momentum. And then there's layback kind of fin like blowtails where you kind of almost slide the board on the lip and then keep your speed down the line. And I think sometimes I'm just trying to force the wrong type of turn for the section. And I think this is an example right here. I think that worked right there. The wave was kind of nice and slopey and I was able to slide it. But you'll see there's a few sections here where like this one, like that section is so, throaty and doubled up that trying to do a layback is kind of, I don't know, at least the type of layback I really wanted to do wasn't really being called for on that section. But I do see progress. I think I'm able to extend that back foot a little bit more. I'm able to jam it a little bit more. And to me, it looks a little bit better. There's an example of kind of more of releasing the fins and keeping the weight over the board. And that makes sense more so on a section like that. But I just want to get better at reading the waves and doing what's called for, not just what I want to do. That was kind of an interesting one right there. I don't really know what to make of that, but you can tell that's all that's on my mind is doing laybacks. And then as we transition into the evening session, you'll see these waves just got really low tide and sketchy. And so there wasn't much to do except for just to airdrop. Like this one, you'll see just like, that was so scary. It's like very shallow right there and super easy to get hurt. So we took a break, and then getting back to airs, I felt so confident. After day 2 of going for airs for a few hours, day 3, I just felt like my board's going to be under me no matter what. And it's so cool what just one day of going for airs will do to your confidence. I felt way better. My make rate was way higher. My timing was way better. And that's just the cool thing about surf trips. You know, the longer you go, the more familiar you are with all the different movements. And so I had a lot of fun just being confident and sending it a little bit more and getting back in rhythm. A section like that on day 1 or 2 wouldn't have been easy to land in air, but after a few hours of trying a lot, I'm just super confident, and I'm sticking it over my board, over my front foot, and that feels super great. I also want to vary it up and try some grabs and stuff later on in this trip, so more to come on that, because I don't want to just do full rotations. Notice how I almost killed that guy right there on the landing. I actually do that again later on. You'll see the same guy, I almost take him out. So I apologize if you see this video. That's really not purposeful, but I'm really sorry. Yeah, tons of fun going right and just punting airs. Here's the one. Wow. I think he pulled the camera away because he knew I was going to kill him. But yeah, and then that felt really cool. It was kind of like a variation of a blow tail reverse and a full rotation kind of cartwheel. I'm stoked where my confidence is at with these airs, and I'm really excited for the next day to get back on rail and in the air and hopefully scoring good waves again. All right, see you in the next one.